There's an ancient Egyptian proverb that says, "The mouth of a perfectly contented man is filled with beer." And I couldn't agree more. It's no secret that I love beer. I love the wide variety of taste in beer, from sweet to big and hoppy. I love the history of beer. I love the crucial role that beer played in our humanity. And on a night like tonight, on a cold fall evening, I love beers that are caramely and toasty, or big and bold and spicy, or deep, deep, deep and dark. So, if you want to know the best beers to drink right now, stick around and we'll discuss. Hi, and welcome to Mama Coco's Delights. I'm Mama Coco, and today we're talking about beer. Now, most people, when they think of beer, they think of a crisp, refreshing beer that's going to quench their thirst on a hot summer day. And those things are wonderful, don't get me wrong. I love a beer on a hot summer day. But today, it's fall, and it's cold, and the air is crisp itself, so you don't necessarily need a crisp beer. Now, the thing is, beer is great in fall because you then get to really explore the full range of flavors and offerings that beer has. You can go something a little sweeter, a little heavier, a little maltier, or you can stick with your bold, big, and hoppy. You have a lot more range that you can work with because you're not looking at beer just to quench your thirst. So today, we're going to take a little bit of a journey, and we're going to explore some of the great beers that fall has to offer. So one of my favorite lighter fall beers is actually Blue Point's Toasted Lager. Now this lager is actually done in a Vienna lager style. So if you can't find Blue Point's Toasted, which should be widely available, then look for a Vienna lager. Now what that means is that this is although it is light, it's not super, super heavy. So if you like lighter beers, this is definitely one for you. It's a little bit lighter, but it's going to have some nice caramel notes to it. Because this is a toasted lager, it's going to have a little bit of toastiness to it, and that toastiness is giving you that beautiful amber color right there. It's going to have a little bit of creaminess. Now, it's not going to be so creamy, like thick and heavy creamy, because there's going to be a little bit of grassiness to it. Not a huge hop flavor, but a little light kind of grassiness to cut some of the caramely, toasty, wonderful notes. This is going to be a 5.5 ABV, which is alcohol by volume. So it's a little heavier than, say, your light Pilsner or things like that, but it's not too heavy. It's not too big. It's nice and smooth. And it's perfect. It's really, if you want something warm and fuzzy and things like that, but not too heavy, a Vienna lager or Toasted Lager by Blue Point, definitely the way to go. So another one of my fall favorite beers is going to be Victory's Golden Monkey. Now, Victory is one of my favorite craft breweries. Victory, Lagunitas, and a few others. They're really good, consistent craft brewers, and I really love them. Plus, their beers are usually widely available, so look for the Victory ones. But if you can't find the Victory, this one is actually a Belgian style Tripel. Now, what does that mean? Well, in Belgium, in 1919, Belgium passed a law that was similar to the American Prohibition law. And what this law stated was that bars and cafes and places like that couldn't sell you distilled liquor. And if you were buying it privately for private consumption, you could only buy 2 liters worth, which isn't a ton. Now, here's the thing. Belgians liked hard liquor. They liked the effect of hard liquor. So what happened is your Belgian brewers, they went back and they actually tripled the amount of malt that they put in there that they normally use to brew beer with. They tripled that amount and they added a little sugar. Now what this did is it activated the yeast a little bit more, and it created beers that had a higher percentage of alcohol. So this bad boy has 9.5% ABV, which, since your average beer has about 4.5, this is a nice big boy. Here's the thing about the Belgian triples. They are lovely and delicious and really good for fall weather. They are a little on the sweeter side. This one has a little bit of spice in it, so it's a little sweet, it's a little spice. It's nice and smooth, like you can throw a bunch of them back, but man, are you gonna feel it. And it has a little hint of creaminess, but not overly creamy. It's light, it's sweet. It has a big flavor profile without punching you in the face with hoppiness. Again, this is not going to be a hop heavy or hop forward beer. So if you're not into, you know, IPAs and things that are super, super bitter and hoppy, this is a nice, smooth, but big girl for you. So next on our list of fall deliciousness is Brooklyn Brewery's Brown Ale. Now I gotta tell you, out of all of the Brooklyn Brewery beers, God, you cannot say that. Out of all of the Brooklyn Brewery beers, this one is by far my favorite. This one is, it is absolutely delicious. It is just super, super scrumptious. So, Brooklyn Brewery's Brown Ale. Now, fun fact, Brooklyn Brewery actually has a African-American brewmaster, which is awesome. So we're definitely going to support them. Go team. This beer. Now, brown ales get their color, and I know this is super, super dark, but God, is she gorgeous. Brown ales get their color from toasting the malt. So what happens is the barley and the malts, they get toasted, usually lightly, but sometimes they get a little darker, a little darker. They get to some serious caramelization, and that's where you get this beautiful, beautiful color. I mean, she is one sexy little girl, isn't she? Check her out, man. Anyway, that caramelization and that toastiness of the color really transforms the flavor inside. She is at once sweet, but she is really kind of toasty, but not quite smoky, but really getting there. And she's complex, and her flavor profiles are just gonna kind of like go like this with you. She's gonna dance across your tongue. I mean, amazing. Oh yeah, she's like toasted marshmallow. I mean, just a really big, this is that fall bonfire, campfire, that kind of flavor in a beer. It is delicious. It goes beautifully with food. Definitely, if you are a meat eater, this is gonna go well. If you're not a meat eater, roast something, anything, drink this with it. I swear to you, this is great. I really, really love this beer. For me, Brooklyn Brewery is local. But mostly you can find them pretty much anywhere. But most of your brown ales, especially one as dark as this, are going to have that flavor. They're going to have that toasty, warm, marshmallowy to them. So if you don't necessarily, again, right now we're kind of playing with things that are not super hoppy. If you don't want necessarily hoppy, but you want something that is a little sweet, a little toasty, a little kind of, I don't know, there's just something rich and fall-like to it, to its taste, this is definitely the thing for you. Try a good brown ale. If you can, try Brooklyn Brewery's brown ale, because like I said, it is by far their favorite beer, my favorite beer that I have tasted from that brewery. So check it out. So up until this point, we've had some really sweet, malty beers. So we haven't had a lot of bitterness. We haven't had a lot of hoppiness. We haven't had a lot of, you know, high acidic kind of things until now. The next beer we're going to do is actually a red ale. Now, let's not get it confused with an Irish red ale, which is going to carry that whole malty, caramely, toasty profile, which are really, really great. This one is a red ale, and it's actually a dry hopped red ale. A dry hopped red ale. So what that means is you're going to add some hoppiness to this, and it's definitely going to have it in the ending. And this one is a 42 IBU. Now, IBU is International Bitterness Units. That's kind of the hoppiness of a beer. And the more higher the IBU, the hoppier that bad boy is going to get. And that's going to have that bitter, piney, sometimes citrusy, that kind of flavor profile to it. Now, this one is actually made by Trader Joe's. I found it at Trader Joe's. I thought, hey, let's try it. It's a red ale. Let's see what they're doing over there in the Trader Joe's brewery. She is delicious. I gotta tell you, I've never had a Trader Joe's beer. This one is really, really good. Look at that gorgeous red color. Now the red color comes from, she's a traditional ale, which is gonna be kind of golden to light amber. And then what they do is they add a little bit of barley malt or toasted barley in the end, and that changes the color to a little bit of a red hue. Now, again, it still kind of falls in the amber category, but it's gonna be slightly darker than your traditional amber ales or lighter amber ales. She is hoppy, but she's not like IPA hoppy. She's got this beautiful, she's kind of got some of those wonderful richness to her, those deep, rich tones that we're really enjoying right now in fall. But in her finish, she's got that bitter, she's got that acid, she's got that tang to her, that hoppiness that we really, really enjoy. So she's big. So if you are a diehard IPA fan and things like that, this is actually a really good red ale to taste, because she's not your traditional red ale. She's not going to be your Irish red. She's definitely going to be kind of an American style red ale. I don't know if that's a thing, but let's call it a thing. It's an American style red ale. We're going to make a thing. Again, great red color, beautiful amberness to her. She's got that big hoppy finish, but she starts off like a traditional red ale, where she starts off nice and toasty and malty, a hint of sweet, but not really, really sweet. And then she moves into bigger, and that is delicious. So kudos to Trader Joe's. Who knew you could get really great beer at Trader Joe's? Oh. Check this bad boy out. You'll love her. Now, you know I can't have a beer video without having an IPA. I mean, I love IPAs. And everyone, okay, not everyone, but most people like IPAs. So this IPA is actually an autumn IPA, an autumn sessions IPA from Peak Brewery. Now, Peak Brewery. God, I cannot say that. Anyway, Peak is out of Portland, Maine. So for me, it's relatively local, but not completely local. I haven't really had any beers from them, but this IPA, and I actually really enjoy this IPA. Now, here's the thing about this IPA, is it is a total citrus thing. This is big, 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 juicy grapefruit flavors. So, this IPA is nice and big and hoppy. Now, it is a sessions IPA, which means it actually has a lower ABV, which again is alcohol by volume, than traditional IPAs. Traditional are between 5 and 7%, 7% being on the higher side. This one I think is like 4.6% ABV. So the sessions part makes it lower alcohol. The IPA part makes it super, super hoppy. And this one, again, it's not a piney IPA. This is very much a, you're going to drink it and you're going to taste it and you're going to go, oh yay, grapefruit. Now, is it going to go well with food? Absolutely. If you like that hoppy flavor, it's going to go well. It's probably going to go well with more meats, chickens, pork, that kind of thing. Some roasted vegetables, but not super, super roasted. And IPAs just generally go well with a lot of things. They're very drinkable. This one, because it is more citrusy than piney, is going to be a little bit more drinkable than a lot of them. This is a good starter IPA. So what a starter IPA is, and we'll actually do a video specifically on IPAs, but a starter, just to kind of put it out there, is an IPA that is one of those things that introduces you to the world of IPAs. It's your first IPA. I mean, it's the one that you're like, oh no, I like this. This isn't so bad. It's not as as the other ones. That one is this. So it's organic, which is great. It has big flavor, big hop to it, but it definitely is going to have more of a citrus than a piney profile. So if you know which IPAs you prefer and you like the citrus one, this is your girl. And she goes really, really well with food. So enjoy. Okay, so last but definitely not least is going to be a stout. Now, for our fall video, I actually chose an oatmeal stout. Here's the cool thing about oatmeal stout. And this one is from, again, from the Trader Joe's Brewery. So oatmeal stout differs from like a milk stout or a traditional stout in the sense that it's going to have the same creamy, rich mouthfeel of a milk stout, but way less sugar. So it's not going to be as sweet as a milk stout. So nice, thick, rich, creamy mouthfeel. Not a lot of sweetness, so it's going to be one of our drier beers that we've had today. Not a lot of hoppiness, because most stouts don't really have any hoppiness to them. And it actually has a lower ABV, so it's about 4.5%, 5% ABV, which again is alcohol by volume. Nice and creamy. Because it is a stout, it's going to be a little bit heavier than your traditional beer. Some of your lagers, some of your ales, and definitely your IPA is going to be. Now, it's not going to be hoppy like an IPA. It's going to have a richness. It's going to have a smoothness. It really, this one in particular, definitely has a strong, strong coffee profile. Like really rich espresso and coffee with a hint of cream Not so much that it weighs down the flavor, but a hint of cream just so it smooths it all out. So this is really, really great. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be one of those eat with food kind of thing. This is more of a end of the night, let's start to relax, let's have a beautiful, rich, decadent beer and enjoy it. Yeah, you gotta try this, girl. So there you have it, our wonderful beers to drink right now for a cold fall day. These beers are really, really good. Most of them are going to go really quite well with food, with the exception of maybe the stout, and sometimes, depending on what you like to eat, the IPA. But the rest of them are going to go really nice with roasted and toasted type of foods that you're going to be eating in the fall anyway. In the description box, I will actually list each one of the beers that I tried, but I will also list the category of beer. So even if you can't find the peak IPA, you can definitely still find a Sessions IPA, and that might actually work as a wonderful replacement for wherever you are in this country. Thanks again for watching this video. It's, I really appreciate you supporting Mama Coco's Delights. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. And please, please, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. And also share it. Share it as much as you possibly can. If you want to let me know what you think is the best beer for fall, put it below in the comment section. Thanks again for watching Mama Coco's Delights, and have a great night. Okay. I'm never filming a beer video again by myself because so much beer to drink, and I really need someone to help me drink this because, good God, this stuff is good. Really, really.